This news is extremely sad and heartbreaking. It turns out that a girl lost her life because her coworker and boss at the 7-Eleven where she worked, she sat on top of her. Yes, she had a heavy-set boss, a body-positive boss who sat on top of her and ended this girl's life. Pay attention, brutal attack in a supermarket. The manager sat on top of an employee in the middle of a fight and finished her off. Wow, I mean, just imagine the manager sat on one of the employees during a fight and completely took her out. Just imagine that. This news is real. Here they tell us, Jessica, that's what the girl was called, dies of suffocation by her boss who sat on her, and her case goes viral. How shocking. This happened at a 7-Eleven in the United States. This famous chain is especially well known in Japan, Thailand, Taiwan, and the United States. 7-Eleven, please, we all know it. And well, she was a worker, a young girl who was there. She had an argument with her boss, with her manager actually. And well, after the argument, the boss, being heavy-set, decided to sit on her, ending her life. Incredible but true. So sad. Let's watch the summary they're giving us. Pay attention.
Worker dies after fight with her manager. Jessica McLaughlin lost her life after a violent incident at the store where she worked in Los Angeles. On June 24, 2025, an argument with her manager escalated into a physical altercation. Witnesses say that the manager pushed her to the ground and sat on her chest with...
What's the need? Seriously, why is it needed?
With his full weight, he stopped her from breathing. Jessica lost consciousness and was taken to Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital, where doctors diagnosed brain death.
Imagine the girl was going to be taken off life support eventually.
On July 2nd, her family made the painful decision to take her off life support. The incident sparked outrage, and the young woman's family says the attacker tried to delete security footage before fleeing. She hasn't faced charges yet and is still on the run. The company that hired her says it's cooperating with authorities. Jessica's family launched a fundraiser for medical and funeral costs. Her loved ones urged that the case not be forgotten and steps be taken to prevent similar incidents.
Let's hope it doesn't get forgotten. Let's also hope that the woman, the boss, bears the consequences. What she did was a criminal act. And listen, I remind you, keep this in mind. The boss, once she's done with this girl, she quickly goes to try to record the security tapes. I mean, the security cameras, you know, the famous tapes. She went to the place to try to erase them, erase the videos. Obviously, she didn't succeed and ended up fleeing on a motorcycle. Right? That's what happened. And since then, the woman hasn't been caught. It's known that she was already fired, obviously. I mean, logically. 7-Eleven already fired the boss, but for now, she apparently hasn't been caught. So how brutal is this? And watch out, here comes the worst part of all. And even though this news broke on June 25th, this woman, the girl who lost her life, didn't pass away until July 2nd. She spent days connected. She was on life support, but her family chose to disconnect her knowing she wouldn't recover. Sadly, she suffered brain death. Imagine the level of craziness. And yes, if a heavy-set woman goes and sits on top of this girl, well, it's normal for something like this to happen. Pay attention, here's what they're telling us. A fight in a Los Angeles supermarket ended with the death of Jessica after being suffocated by her boss. The incident happened on June 24th in a supermarket in Los Angeles. 7-Eleven, when a dispute between the manager and 24-year-old Jessica escalated into something terrible. According to witnesses, the boss grabbed her by the hair and sat on her chest, causing her, you know what, which left the young woman in a state of brain death. The incident was described as terrible and senseless by the Los Angeles Times. Very true. I mean, it's something that doesn't make sense. If you think about it, objectively speaking, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why? What's the need to do something like that? That happens in the world, right? Unfortunately, some people aren't in full control of their senses. Also, there's something else interesting here. I've mentioned it many times already. There are a lot of people who tend to treat women as if they were beings of light, incapable of doing anything wrong. Obviously, women can do wrong, as shown here. Of course, men can too. What I mean is that evil is something that exists in any human being. It doesn't distinguish between genders. It doesn't distinguish between sexes. A bad person can be a man or woman. Assuming a woman can't commit a crime like this underestimates them. The abilities of women. So this is really sad. Here they tell us the supermarket manager deletes evidence. I mean, she tried to delete evidence, and the brother is asking for justice. Okay, the situation was unfortunate, So serious that the co-workers who tried to intervene were also attacked by the manager. She didn't even stop when the young woman was already unconscious. I mean, the woman completely lost her mind. I mean, she was out of her senses. We saw what happened. Meanwhile, some colleagues tried to resuscitate her. About Jessica. The attacker reportedly tried to delete the store's security footage instead of cooperating. This is believed to have been a deliberate effort to destroy evidence before fleeing. Of course, just imagine. The family fires Jessica and the company confirms her dismissal. Dismissal is obviously the minimum action. Here they tell us Jessica was taken to a hospital there in Los Angeles, where the doctors confirmed that she had brain death due to lack of oxygen. Days after the attack, her family painfully decided to remove her from life support. Jessica, they tell us, had a unique way of making people feel safe and loved, her brother recalled. She had a beautiful soul and deserved much more than the way her life was taken from her, he added sadly. Police are still searching for the manager, who remains at large. The 7-Eleven supermarket chain issued a statement confirming the dismissal of the suspect and assuring that they are cooperating with the authorities. Hopefully, this woman faces consequences and is imprisoned for her actions, because what she did was simply unforgivable. I mean, there's just no way. This is a crime. This is an offense. To be honest, if it were up to me, I'd give her the death penalty. But well, surely many will think that's too much. So what's the minimum that can be given to her? What would be the minimum, guys? Life sentence. I'd give her that at least. The problem, and what usually bothers me about these kinds of cases, is that she's going to end up getting something like 25 years, 30 years. If they catch her, since she already ran away. And since she's in Los Angeles, I wouldn't be surprised if she's already in Mexico by now. Obviously, they can issue an international arrest warrant. They could easily do it, but well, it just gets harder. What I really don't know is the name or the nationality of the woman who committed this atrocity. Just based on what I've read and researched. Well, clearly she was a heavy-set woman. Of course, a skinny girl wouldn't have been able to do something like this, especially considering that Jessica wasn't exactly thin, you know? So clearly the woman who did it was heavy-set and used her weight to go against this woman. Rest in peace, Jessica. And well, the only thing we can do is wish the best for her family, the best for her loved ones. Quick acceptance. And let's hope they can smile again in honor of Jessica's memory, because that's surely what she would have wanted for all her loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, what a tragedy. See you next time.